How often have you heard about the sentiment against us resellers that we are scum of the earth, we are scammers, we are greedy, we are more evil than the goblins and orcs and the Balrog in the mines of Moria? There's a fair amount of criticism out there against online reselling community. Comments may fly in about the disparity of the prices that we pay and the prices that we are going to sell for. People may say, hey, you're paying $5 at a garage sale for something that you know is going to sell for 50 bucks and you should have paid $10 or you should have offered $15, you young, greedy, young little witch boy. Well, here we are together again. All is good in the world. I appreciate you being here with me here at the pits of YouTube. My name is Kyle. I've been an online reseller for the past 14 years. I've sold millions of dollars of inventory, and I credit online reselling for funding my enormous iced coffee budget that I happen to consume on a weekly basis. I'm talking about the topic, what I mentioned here in the intro, because there's a fair amount of criticism out there. Some of it, I guess, could be fair, but a lot of it, I think, is a lot of oversight when it comes to the criticism of the reselling community. And I'm bringing it up particularly now because I just saw a video by Commonwealth Picker or Commonwealth Flipper, one of his two channels there, where he mentioned this in the past week or so in one of his videos, where some of the criticism that he's gotten, and I wanted to add a little bit of my perspective on the matter because I think there's a lot of oversight from those who criticize resellers. It's not in every video, but if you were to go through any particular reseller's channel, every so often in the comment section, you will find some sort of comment saying how resellers are just the worst, most awful people on the face of this universe, at least on this side of Uranus. And I wanted to talk about that because usually there's comments are something about us stealing from the poor or ripping people off at garage sales or just taking advantage, capitalizing on people who are less fortunate or less informed. And I want to talk about that a little bit in this video, but mostly I want to share some fantastic treasures that I found out in the wilds of an estate sale that was 50% off, and also a thrift store that was also 50% off. You guessed it. So let's hop into it. This estate sale put me in such a good mood. They were actually baking cookies, handing them out, playing some good music. And I'm always looking for DVDs out in the wilds, no matter where I am. And I find some sealed DVDs. That's what I'm looking for, or obscure titles, or titles with celebrities early on in their career. This one is not a huge financial windfall. I'm only going to make about $3 on this. You can see it's only selling for about 10 after fees and everything. It's about $4. It cost me $1. Now you can see up in the upper left-hand corner that number, 19,154. That's akin to like an eBay sell-through rate. On Amazon, they give you a sales rank. 19,000 is pretty good. Number one would be the best. Considering there are hundreds of thousands or a million DVDs for sale, 19,000 is a really solid rank, so it'll sell pretty quickly. This Dress to Kill, another sealed DVD, I'm only paying $1 for, and not the sales rank isn't that great, 106,000, but still it'll sell, maybe sit for a month or two or so. But I'm going to end up making about $8, a little more than $8 on this Dress to Kill. I was dressed like a slob this day, but that didn't matter. And then we find Dark Angel, something I've never found out in the wilds before, and I had no idea. Did you know this? Dark Angel Season 2 sealed is selling for over $60. I'm going to make like $45+ on this sucker, and it has a 34,000 rank, so it's going to sell relatively quickly. So keep an eye out for it. It also sells pretty good on eBay in the $55 to $60 range, brand new sealed. So Dark Angel of my soul, you are welcome to fill my fancy pockets anytime. Bose Wave Radios, as you know, Bose is a great brand to look out for. They were asking $170, really steep, 50% off. It would have been $85. But, if this, with being complete with a controller and everything and working condition and, a good clean machine here, it would have been like a $200 plus sale. However, there were some loose parts. The screws are a little bit loose. It was working, but I wasn't going to pay $85 just for a somewhat broken Bose. You can sell these farts. You can sell these for parts, actually. So even if they are broken, if you can get them cheap enough, they'll still sell for $50 to $75 for parts only. And farts come free. And first off, I will just say that if you've participated in buying anything at any time from anybody, you've purchased from a reseller. Resellers come in a lot of different forms. Come in large forms, or they come in forms of large corporations, large companies. Walmart is a reseller. Amazon.com is a reseller. Grocery stores are a reseller. Starbucks happens to be one of my favorite resellers. All of them are selling items, making profits, making margins for more than they purchased or more than their cost. Everything is a reseller. If you've participated in buying anything in the modern world, congratulations, you have now purchased from a reseller. And I think another major oversight is the service that resellers offer. When we go out into the wilds of thrift stores and garage sales, estate sales, and the like, and we buy something and then we put it on a worldwide platform such as eBay, we're offering a service. And what I mean, I'll expand a little bit more on that, is there are a lot of folks out there who don't have access to certain items, who may be looking for a rare video game, who may be looking for a particular piece of clothing. I know I used to go on eBay specifically when I found the jeans that I liked. I think they were this was like 5 or 6 years ago, and Levi's 511. I loved those jeans. They happened to fit me well. And I would go specifically on eBay looking for Levi's 511s. It was a convenience thing where I didn't have to leave my house and I could let somebody else basically do the shopping for me. Of course, I could go on Levi's.com or to a Levi's store, but in that scenario, I'm paying full retail price versus going on someplace and buying from like a third party or often a reseller. I get a really good deal on those jeans, and I can look up specifically what I'm looking for and I can find it, and it's a very big convenience. And that's one way that the reselling community serves others. And we're talking about eBay, which is a worldwide platform. So when people are out there looking for something very specific, a rare video game or collectible, a book, a tool, a shirt, anything that people want, people can go online at any point and shop. And that is a major convenience. And a lot of that convenience happens to come from resellers who are going out into the wilds and finding these items and putting them and offering them up for sale. And that is a major service to so many folks. I know I go on eBay and find plenty of things that I just can't find in my local area. Then in the back, they were having a shoe party, and these Merrells were back there. $15, a little pricey, but again, 50% off, only paying $7.50. You get a really good, clean pair of Merrells. You can get even used $50, $60 for these things. I think I'll get around 40 to 45, as these are well loved, but since they are high quality, fantastic brand, they'll make me a few bucks. Rummy Cub, check this out on the Amazon selling app. It has a fantastic rank, 826. That's exceptional. It'll sell within a couple of days, and I paid $5, and I'll end up doubling my money. Then I found another pair of Merrell, same color, same Moab 2s. So again, I'm going to be selling these for about $45, paying $7.50 for these. So I'll end up making around $20 or so. Then I find these boots. This is the first time I've ever seen these out in the wilds. Never knew of this brand. LOWA, Lawa, not sure how to say it, but I think I can get like 65 to $70 for these. And again, I think these were marked 15, so maybe they were marked 20. I either paid $7.50 or $10 for those. Either way, I'm making really good profit. And then these Tevas, super clean, great brand to keep an eye out for, as we all know. But this particular make and model, I think I can get like 45 to $50 even for these used. Then I find these Mizmoos, I think is how they're pronounced, these cool green boots. And again, these were actually marked 10, so I got these for $5, and they sold really quick within 72 hours. I think I got $55 or maybe it was $60. I don't remember exactly, but you find a good pair of these Mizmoos and you can get between $70, $80, $90 even for used ones if you find the right model. And a lot of comments may fly in about the disparity of the prices that we pay and the prices that we're going to sell for. People may say, hey, you're paying $5 at a garage sale for something that you know is going to sell for $50, and you should have paid $10, or you should have offered $15, you young, greedy, young little witch boy. But here's the thing, nobody is forcing anybody to sell anything to us. And if somebody wants to sell us something for $5, that's on them. And if somebody wants to ask $8 and I only want to pay $5 and I will only offer $5, they can say no. It's amazing. They could say no. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And most people just want to get stuff out of their house. If you've ever had a garage sale, you know this. The last thing you want to do at the end of the day is bring everything back in your house or load it up just to bring it to a thrift store. The price a reseller pays for an item is irrelevant. And as for reselling, resellers can't price gouge. We can only sell items for whatever market value happens to be. Just like we can't force somebody to sell something to us at any particular price, we can't force anyone to buy anything from us at any particular price. Whatever the market value or whatever somebody is willing to pay for an item is the value of those things. Now, I can admit that some resellers are cheap, knowing that if something's selling for 150 bucks and at a garage sale it's marked for 5, and then the reseller say, hey, I'll give you 3 for this. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's just being cheap. Then every so often you'll hear the bizarre comment that buying something at a thrift store could be stealing from the poor. Goodwill actually has a program. It's called Emergency Clothing Program, where they give necessities. They give clothing to people who are in need. So not only aren't you stealing from poor people when you buy things from thrift stores, you're actually supporting services like the Emergency Clothing Program that Goodwill offers, that gives necessity, gives clothing to people who can't afford it. There is a criticism that I think has some legitimacy here. I don't want to place all blame on online resellers, but I think in particular stores such as Goodwill, I think prices have gone up in part because of resellers coming in. That's not to blame resellers solely for the cause. I don't think that's true. There's a lot of things that cause prices to go up. Goodwill has a lot of employees to pay. They have really high salaries in their CEOs and their upper management. They have a lot of people in general to cover on a payroll. They have lights to keep on. They keep building more and more Goodwills. They offer a lot of services, and they have a lot of costs to cover. All that stuff is going to help drive prices up. But there are still amazing deals to be found at any Goodwill. You can see the evidence here on YouTube. Find resellers that go out and they find a ton of stuff. They still fill carts at stores like Goodwill despite prices that may or may not be going up. So if you find yourself critical of resellers, go out there. I encourage you to go out there and try it for yourself. Just see what it's like for yourself before you criticize, because most folks, and this is not just critics of resellers in general, critics of anything, don't really understand what they're critiquing. They're not sure of the kind of work, the kind of effort, the learning involved, the selling fees, the time, the general commitment that it takes to make it work. So go out there. I encourage you just to go out there, try to find some stuff and flip it online and just see what it's like. You may actually fall in love with it, just like many of the resellers that you see here on YouTube. And those are just a few of my thoughts and a little bit of my perspective on the matter, but I'd love to hear from other resellers and non-resellers alike on this topic. If you're a reseller out there, let me know some criticism that you may have received or some criticism that you may actually have against your fellow resellers. Or if you're not a reseller, but you have some criticism that I didn't talk about or include in this video, I'd love to hear about it. I expect to get a little bit of hate and some smack talk. That's par for the course here on the internet, and I appreciate it nonetheless. Their thrift store, 50% off, so we're happy. As soon as I walk in, I find this watch, Mistura, I'm not sure how to say it, but it sells in the $45+ range, and that's crazy to me. It needs a new battery. I have a new battery, but I must have walked by, I mean, I go in this store all the time, and I must have walked by this watch section 74 times, maybe 72. I kind of lost track, somewhere in the 27, 28 range. These watches are $4, and it seems like there's going to be a lot of treasures to keep an eye out for. So I definitely picked that up. Then I find these vintage Care Bear watch. I don't think it's going to be a huge financial windfall in my fancy pocket. However, it's only $3. It's cool. It's kind of like niche American ingredients from 2006. There's Care Bear collectors out there, and the fact that it's brand new and almost 20 years old, I think I can probably get like $25 or so from some Care Bear collector out there. Then I find these speakers, Bogan, not sure how to. I don't really know how to say anything in life. I'm sure if you've watched this channel, you kind of realize that by now. But they were marked $17, which would have been great if it was for the pair. However, they wanted $17 each, and it seems like they sell in the $45 range, and I don't want to spend $17 just to make, I mean, I might make $10 each. They're really heavy, so I left those behind. I find this Viper Q-stick case container thing, and it's really nice, and thought it was great. I think it was only $5 or so. I could flip it and make like $10, $12 or something. But I was fooled. I was checking it out, looking for damage, and sure enough, the zipper was missing. I don't know if you remember, 10 videos ago, in this same exact spot, the same exact store, I found a really nice bowling bag, and I was going to pick that up as it was a nice profitable item. But again, it was missing the zipper. It's like the land of missing zippers here. So always check out the this section of things that you put on your body and do to your body. Found this thing. It seems to be pricing from 20 to 30 bucks, and they're only asking 2, so I picked it up. But I'm always looking for, perfumes and random things that you spritz on your body that have some value. Toys. I'm always looking for loose toys, especially this. Keep an eye out for Safari Limited specifically. They make a lot of high quality animals, and individually some have some value, especially if you can get it cheap enough. But this one didn't have much value on its own. However, I did check out to see if I could lot some up if I find another one, do 2 for 20 or so. But unfortunately, didn't find any, so I left that one behind.